Hello, this is Tatiana and a new story on my author's channel.
Marina hadn't even finished writing the last word on the board when the classroom door burst open with a bang. She turned around, thinking one of the students had forgotten something, but it wasn't a child standing in the doorway. It was her husband, Oleg. Everything about him signaled change. His suit fit perfectly. The strict tie emphasized his official appearance. Even his walk had become unfamiliar, confident, deliberately important. He didn't look at her, just nodded toward the hallway. "Let's go," he said curtly. No hello, no how are you. No warm, familiar smile he used to wear whenever he came to pick her up in the staff room. Marina automatically wiped the chalk from her hands. Leaving her half-eaten breakfast on the table, she followed him. The hallway was nearly empty. Only the cleaner was mopping the floor by the physics lab, and a couple of students were running down the stairs. On the way, Marina tried to catch up with Oleg and ask something, but he walked ahead silently, as if carrying out a sentence already handed down. When they entered the principal's office, Marina felt a chill. She'd been here many times before, first helping Oleg prepare his speech for the certification board, then when they developed the school's development plan together. Everything about his appointment had involved her. It was she who pushed him forward when he doubted himself. And now she sat across from his desk like a stranger. Oleg sat in his chair, placed his hands on the table, interlaced his fingers, and looked at her. But there was no warmth or gratitude in his eyes, only fatigue and detachment. "Marina, you know how much I value your work," he began, with a rehearsed tone. She frowned. "Say it plainly. What happened?" He sighed. "We're reviewing staff. Optimization is underway. Many hours have been reallocated, the workload is dropping. The board suggested cutting several positions, yours among them." Marina was silent for a long time, as if she didn't understand what he was saying. "Cutting mine," she repeated, as if the word had been spoken in a foreign language. "Yes. As of tomorrow, you're relieved of your duties. I've already signed the documents. It's all official." She stood up abruptly. "Are you serious? You just fired your own wife." He stood too, but calmly, without raising his voice. "Marina, don't dramatize. This is work. There's no room for emotion here. All decisions are made objectively." She smirked. "Objectively? Who wrote your reports at night? Who helped you pass your review when you couldn't string two words together? I gave you all my time, energy, faith, and now you're being objective." He stepped back, clearly not expecting such a reaction. She walked toward the door but stopped at the threshold. "Tell me honestly. Was this your decision, or did someone whisper it to you?" "I'm the principal." "It was my decision," he said quickly, as if asserting his authority. "Then know this, being a principal doesn't make you a man. That's what you've forgotten. A man doesn't throw out the woman who helped him stand on his feet." Oleg didn't respond. He just sat back down heavily in his chair. Marina left, slamming the door loudly behind her. As she walked down the corridor, a storm rose within her. She was being fired, but worse, it was he who had done it. The one she considered her partner, her love, her rock. Now he had become someone else. A stranger. She stopped by the staff room, took a deep breath and walked in. Her colleagues noticed her immediately. Her face was dry, but her expression said her world had collapsed. She sat on the edge of a table, still in her coat, and looked out the window. Memories swirled in her mind. How they had dreamed of a cozy home, of traveling together, working side by side. How she had supported him when everyone mocked his awkwardness. She had been with him in his hardest moments, and he repaid her with indifference. She picked up her bag, looked at her colleagues and said, "I'm going to pack my things. I've been fired." The staff room fell silent. Not a sound, only a ringing in her ears. Marina stood at her locker, methodically packing textbooks, notebooks, folders full of lesson plans. Each sheet of paper a reminder of years devoted to the school. Her fingers trembled, but she kept going, not letting herself stop. A few colleagues stood nearby, exchanging uneasy glances, but no one dared approach. "Marina, are you serious?" asked Natalia, the literature teacher. "What do you mean you've been fired?" Marina didn't look up. "He said there's a staff reduction. My position is redundant." "That's nonsense," snapped Irina, the biology teacher. "You have one of the heaviest workloads, for grade levels. This doesn't make sense." "It doesn't matter anymore," Marina replied quietly. "He's the principal. He made the decision." The room came alive. Someone jumped up, someone called the union. Murmurs of outrage spread. "He got that job thanks to you," Natalia said loudly. "If not for you, he'd still be sawing stools in the workshop." "I knew he was weak," Marina said, finally looking up. "But I didn't think he was a coward too. Couldn't even talk to me like a human being. Came down from his throne like I was his subordinate, not his wife." "You didn't suspect anything?" asked Katia, the young English teacher. "That he was ready to push you out?" Marina shook her head. "He's been distant lately, working late, always at some emergency meetings. I thought he was adjusting to the new role. Turns out, he was planning how to get rid of Ballast." "Ballast," repeated Irina. "You're the one who carried him. Didn't you write the strategic plan he presented at the competition? I remember how he couldn't even open an Excel table without your help." Marina gave a bitter smile. "Exactly. But now I'm in his way. A wife is proof he didn't rise by himself, but on someone else's shoulders. He was just scared of a strong woman beside him," summed up Natalia. "Cowardly men can't stand it when someone smarter is around, especially if it's their wife." Someone poured Marina tea, someone offered her candy. That care broke through her defenses, and tears welled up in her eyes, but she quickly wiped them away with the back of her hand. "I won't complain," she said. "Won't go to the union. Let him handle everything himself now. I want him to feel what it means to be alone at the top." "Where will you go?" asked Katia. "I don't know," Marina replied honestly. "Maybe I'll take a break. Maybe I'll look for another school. Or maybe I'll change everything completely. But one thing I know for sure, I will no longer be by his side." Her words were simple, without bitterness, but carried a strength that could not be broken. At that moment, the staff room door opened again. Irina Petrovna, the vice principal, stood at the threshold, cold, precise, always in the know. "Marina, the principal is asking if you can come to his office." "No," said Marina firmly, not rising. "Tell him he's already said everything he wanted. I have no desire to listen further." Irina raised an eyebrow. "That might affect your future recommendations. He can write whatever he wants. I have a clear conscience and enough experience. And those who truly helped this school, the students and the parents, they know the truth." Irina Petrovna turned and left silently, closing the door behind her. The room was quiet again. Marina closed the last drawer. Everything was packed, except for her favorite mug with "Best Teacher" written on it. She held it for a moment, then gently placed it in her bag. "Thank you, everyone," she said. "I'll never forget this." "We won't let you go just like that," Natalia exclaimed. "We'll throw you a farewell tea party, even if it's improvised. You don't deserve to leave in silence." "No," Marina shook her head. "I want to leave now. No tears, no celebrations. Just go. And you, stay strong. He's in for a hard time. Very soon." And she walked out of the staff room, her back straight. In the corridor, a student spotted her and ran up. "Marina Sergeyevna, where are you going? You promised us a museum trip." Marina stopped, smiled. Promises should be kept, but not by me anymore. The child froze, confused, as she continued walking down the long hallway that would never again feel like home.